Of Sadio Mane's story brings you an account of notable events starting from his childhood. The analysis involves his life story before the fame, his family life, and many on and off-pitch little-known facts about the decorated superstar. No doubt, Mane has progressed tremendously from the street player with stardust in his feet but a limited understanding of the game into a valuable asset to any team. Liverpool's success in Madrid in June 2019 propelled Mane and his teammates towards superstar status. The 30-year-old is now considered one of the best players in the world and counted among the greatest African players of all time, known for his pressing, dribbling, and speed. But how did the talented little boy from Bambali make it into the world's biggest stage? How has he utilized his fame? What does he possibly get up to off the pitch with his two best friends, Coutinho and Firmino? Stick around to see us cover it all, with a few untold pieces of the superstar's journey thrown in for good measure. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Sadio Mane, also known as Said, was born into a Muslim family on the 10th day of April 1992 in Sadiō, Senegal. His mom is Satao Touré. There's no record of Mane's father, who died when he was 7 years old. From when he was little, Mane had always had an interest in football. He was even in the middle of a game when his brother informed him that his father, who had been ill for about 3 weeks, had passed away. At first, he thought it was a joke until he realized it wasn't. The news greatly devastated 7-year-old Mane, but his interest in football remained consistent. His interest in the sport, however, intensified when his country Senegal made it to the quarterfinals in their first appearance in the World Cup in 2002. That was the first time he realized he wanted a professional football career. It was no longer just a dream for him. He wanted a football career, and to achieve that, he knew he had to work hard. At the beginning of this video, we told you it takes a village, right? Well, here's how the start of Mane's career went. In the beginning, his mom and uncle did not accept his career choice, even though the majority of the people in his village thought he was good. They soon started to come around when they saw how much he wanted it, realizing there was nothing else for him. So his mom and uncle sold all the crop produce from their farms to raise money to assist him. His talents and perseverance were so inspiring that other people from his village who knew him, even some who didn't, pulled resources together to ensure he had the best possible shot at pursuing his only true passion. And so, the 15-year-old embarked on the journey to the capital city of Dakar and promptly made inquiries on the most popular football club in the town, hoping to show up for tryouts the next day. On arrival, he saw lots of boys who also came to tryouts. His boots were old and torn, and he didn't even have proper football shorts on, but he was eager to impress, and he did. It took him all but 15 minutes to win over Abdel Diatta, the veteran scout for the Generation Foot Academy. According to Mane, Diatta came to me and said, "I'm picking you up straight away. You'll play on my team." After the trials, he got selected to play for the local team's academy, where he scored a total of 131 goals and 90 appearances in just 2 seasons. His journey to stardom truly began after being miraculously picked up by French scouts on their mission to Senegal to fetch a selected few amongst the poorest and most gifted footballers. Mane had once again impressed the pants off the scouts who were happy to include him. Indeed, they had found the poorest and most proficient footballer on the team. He got an invitation to first attend a 2-season trial at the Senegalese football academy called Generation Foot by the same French scouts. He proved himself worthy of the recognition by delivering more goals and exceeding expectations at the club, prompting his sponsorship to play overseas in France. He was sent to France to join the French club Metz, where he started playing professional football at 19. His mom didn't even know he had left Senegal and gone to France. When he finally told her, she couldn't believe it and would call every day to ask him if he was there. She finally became convinced when he told her to watch him play on television and eventually got used to her son being in France. She would proudly watch his games when he played, but stopped after he got injured in one of his games because she would panic about him getting injured. At first, life in France was tough. The weather was harsh, the culture was not the same, and a pelvic injury complicated things further by hampering his progress. But he did not relent. Mane went on to shine for Metz as usual. usual. That summer, he represented Senegal at the London Olympics, helping them in their onward march to victory, but was halted by Mexico in the quarterfinal. But his presence was noticed by the Austrian side Red Bull Salzburg. By August end, he got transferred to Salzburg for around €4 million. It was here when his career took off. Mane scored 19 goals in his first season and 23 in his second as Salzburg won the league and double cup. He, however, missed the final against St. Pölten due to injury, but scored a hat-trick as Horn was dispatched in the semi-finals, bringing his tally for Salzburg to 42 goals and 80 appearances in 2 seasons before his arrival on the Premier League stage. No doubt, Mane was going places, and it was time to touch down in the UK for another adventure. His form had attracted interest from around Europe, with clubs like Borussia Dortmund and Spartak Moscow making lucrative bids for him, but his final choice was Southampton, with a fee of just under €12 million. The Senegalese captain scored 10 goals after his debut in a League Cup win against Arsenal. His goal tally included a record-breaking hat-trick against Aston Villa, scoring all 3 goals in 176 seconds, making it the fastest hat-trick in Premier League history. He eclipsed Reds legend Robbie Fowler, who previously held the record with 4 minutes and 33 seconds, but his frequent late arrival to training got him transferred to Liverpool. His first season at Merseyside was cut short by a knee injury sustained against Everton in April of that year, but he still finished the season as Liverpool's Player of the Year. His season highlights included an Arsenal strike and a stoppage-time derby winner at Goodison Park in December. He finished with 13 goals from 29 appearances. Even though Mo Salah's arrival necessitated a switch to the left flank, his form barely suffered as Liverpool went all the way to the Champions League final, with Mane scoring in every single round, including 3 goals across the semi-final against Roma, a key goal in the quarter-final win over Manchester City, and a hat-trick at Porto in the last 16, bringing his tally to 20 goals that season. He scored for Senegal at the World Cup that summer, netting in a 2-2 draw with Japan. His country would, however, be eliminated controversially at the group stage courtesy of the fair play table, with the Japanese advancing to the last 16. The 2018-2019 season proved to be Mane's best yet. He scored twice for Liverpool on opening day and never looked back. His 22 Premier League goals gave him, along with fellow African stars Salah and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a share of the Golden Boot. His performances helped Liverpool to a record points total of 97. Manchester City, however, beat them to the title on the final weekend. Again, Klopp's team navigated its way to the Champions League final, and Mane provided some pivotal moments. His goal against his current club, Bayern Munich, at the Allianz Arena in the last 16 was one of the finest seen in Europe all season. He scored away at Porto in the quarterfinals and was part of that epic, never-to-be-repeated fight back from 3-0 against Barcelona in the semis. The unbeatable Mane joined Bayern Munich for a fee rising to €35 million in June after 6 successful years on Merseyside. The ever-humble winger has an estimated net worth of $20 million. At Liverpool, Sadio Mane had an annual salary of €7.2 million at €150,000 per week. Bavarians have agreed on a salary of €19.8 million per season in Germany. That equates to just over €354,000 per week, which is allegedly greater than anything Liverpool pays their top earners. Unfortunately, we only know about his house in Liverpool, but the Senegal man loves his cars and has 4 top-end supercars: a Range Rover Evoque with a price tag of $50,000, an Audi RS7 which cost him $120,000, a Bentley Continental GT for $200,000, and a 2019 Mercedes G63 AMG bought for a staggering $250,000. Sadio Mane earns around €5 million through endorsements. The Senegal man endorses several brands including New Balance, Western Union, and Indonesia Tourism. They say not all superheroes wear capes. Well, this one wears football boots. Sadio Mane is no less than a superhero for a lot of people. Indeed, Mane is a good football player and a good human being as well. Even after getting so much fame and money, the right-footer hasn't forgotten his roots and is still down-to-earth and humble. Mane donated €500,000 to build a hospital in his home village of Bambali because he doesn't want any kid to grow up without a father. He regularly visits the building site to monitor ongoing operations. He helped the Senegal government when the pandemic created havoc in 2020. Again, he helped the villagers of Bambali by donating €250,000 for a new secondary school. The Liverpool forward has won African Footballer of the Year, the Champions League, the Premier League, and has lifted the Africa Cup of Nations. Not bad for a kid from Bambali with torn boots.